The bustling city streets echoed with the cacophony of car horns and hurried footsteps as Chachi, a small brown corgi with piercing blue eyes, wandered aimlessly through the urban jungle. His short, stubby legs carried him past towering skyscrapers that seemed to touch the clouds, their glass facades reflecting the fading sunlight. Chachi's once glossy coat was now matted and dirty, a testament to the days he had spent alone since his owner had callously abandoned him in this concrete maze. The little dog's heart ached with loneliness and fear as he navigated the unfamiliar terrain, his keen nose picking up a myriad of scents that only served to remind him of how out of place he was in this vast metropolis. As night fell, the city transformed into a glittering landscape of neon signs and streetlights, casting long shadows that seemed to reach out for Chachi like grasping fingers. He huddled in a narrow alley between two imposing buildings, his small body shivering not just from the cold, but from the overwhelming sense of abandonment that threatened to consume him. The corgi's blue eyes, usually bright and full of life, now held a haunted look as he watched the world go by, wondering if he would ever find a place to call home again. The sounds of the city at night, distant sirens, the occasional shout, and the constant hum of traffic, created a discordant lullaby that kept Chachi on edge, unable to find rest in this strange and intimidating environment. Days passed, blending into a blur of survival as Chachi scavenged for food and sought shelter from the elements. His once playful demeanor had given way to a wary, cautious approach to life on the streets. He learned to avoid the busy intersections where impatient drivers honked their horns and pedestrians rushed by without a second glance. Instead, he stuck to the quieter back streets, his nose constantly twitching as he searched for any morsel of food that might sustain him. The little corgi's resilience was tested time and again as he faced the harsh realities of city life, his trust in humans eroded by each passing day of neglect and indifference. One particularly gloomy afternoon, as rain pelted the city streets and turned them into shimmering rivers, Chachi found himself huddled beneath a store awning, his wet fur clinging to his small frame. It was then that he locked eyes with a passing stranger, a tall, slender woman with kind brown eyes and curly black hair that framed her olive-skinned face. She wore a bright yellow raincoat that stood out like a beacon in the dreary weather. The woman, named Sarah, stopped in her tracks, her heart melting at the sight of the bedraggled corgi. "Oh, you poor thing," she cooed, crouching down to Chachi's level. "Are you lost, little one?" Chachi's initial instinct was to flee, his recent experiences having taught him to be wary of human interaction. But something in Sarah's gentle voice and warm smile made him pause. She slowly extended her hand, allowing the corgi to catch her scent. "It's okay," she murmured soothingly. "I won't hurt you." After a moment's hesitation, Chachi inched forward, his nose twitching as he sniffed her outstretched fingers. Sarah's face lit up with a radiant smile as the little dog allowed her to gently stroke his head. "That's it," she encouraged. "You are safe now. How about we get you out of this rain and somewhere warm?" With great care and patience, Sarah managed to coax Chachi into her arms, cradling him against her chest as she made her way home through the rain-soaked streets. The corgi's heart raced with a mix of fear and hope as he was carried into a cozy apartment, filled with the comforting sense of home. Sarah tenderly dried him off with a soft towel, speaking to him in soothing tones all the while. "You're going to be just fine," she assured him, her eyes sparkling with determination. "We'll get you cleaned up, fed, and then we'll figure out where you belong." As she worked, Chachi began to feel the first stirrings of trust, his tail giving a tentative wag. In the days that followed, Chachi's world transformed. Sarah's loving care and unwavering patience slowly chipped away at the walls of fear and distrust that the little corgi had built around his heart. She took him to the vet, had him groomed, and showered him with affection and toys. When no owner came forward to claim him, Sarah made the decision that would change both their lives forever. "Well, Chachi," she said, kneeling down to look into his bright blue eyes, "what do you say about making this arrangement permanent?" The corgi's response was an enthusiastic bark and a flurry of excited licks to her face. As Sarah laughed and hugged him close, Chachi felt a warmth spread through his entire being. He had found more than just a new home, he had found a best friend, a new lease on life, and a happiness he thought he'd never know again.